last time.
Okay, great. Okay, guys, so let me just introduce Marshall, Professor Sklar to you guys. He founded and runs Florida's best realty. And Marshall, just so you know, I've given him a little bit of background that what's great about you as a case study is that, I mean, you're not a tech guy at all. You're a people guy, and you're down in a business which is managing real estate agents, and I tried to explain to them, I don't know how it exists elsewhere in the world, but it's a very cutthroat business. This is,
yes.
I mean, if your agent doesn't like you, they pack up their little black book with all their phone numbers and customers and they walk across the street to your competitor, and boom, your revenue just disappeared, walked out the door. So his job is exactly what you guys, I'm talking to them on their projects, are trying to think about. E-commerce business, what is my unique selling proposition? What makes me special? And how can I leverage the internet, intranets, extranets to create value for my business so that my agents don't leave me, and in fact, maybe they'll come to me and my customers will come to me. So that's what you're going to get in this discussion with Marshall. And again, he's not a technology guy, but in fact, he's a complete technology guy, because it's almost all of what he does when he leverages the technology to create added value, which allows his business to grow as fast as it is growing, and has been since he started to invest in this program. So I'll shut up now, Marshall. I'll let you go through a demonstration, maybe a little background on the company, how you got started, what are you doing, and then demonstrating the products that you've developed for your agents as well as for your customers.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. I guess, to start off, like Jeff said, we got into this business. I was in college. I really didn't know anything about real estate or technology. And I have kind of, by default, just learned how to manage my business with technology because it streamlines everything we do. So what we've created, and it's our pride and joy here, is a CRM, which is a client relationship management software for real estate brokerages. And we run our entire business through this CRM. It literally runs everything from our bookkeeping to our client relationships, email, blasting, email databases, progress with clients. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, what it does, and why I think it's the best CRM in the business, which the reason being, it was built by somebody in the industry, not by some programmer who has no idea what's truly needed for our industry.
Let me stop you for a second, and I'm going to interrupt if you don't mind along the way a little bit, just to point out some things. One of the things that he just said that's very valuable, that I know you guys hate, is I'm pushing you through this business process mapping, where you have to identify the process to process to process and make the relationships. It's what he said earlier. If he started off with a customer relationship management system, but then he sees that in fact this stuff is all connected because it's his business. It's connected to when he wants to send an invoice to a customer, or an invoice to somebody who's renting one of their properties. So everything is in fact all connected, and if you back up, and you don't have to back up, if you run the business like he doesn't have a choice. He's managing this connected collection of processes. And so if he's going to create a system, it's going to be interconnected.
Yep.
That's where the value comes from.
It's funny because we're a real estate brokerage, but at some point we're going to spin off this CRM and start selling it to other brokerages. And that's really where we've created a value, more than anything. If you ask me what's the single most valuable asset for our business, besides the people, it's the technology and it's this system. It really is state of the art. Thank you. Hang on one second, guys. I'm just going to plug in here. My laptop, I want it upstairs. That's where they are.
So while he's running around, another attribute of real estate agents or businesses generally, when you're developing a new system, you're probably going to web enable that system. And so he can be anywhere on the planet, and right now he's upstairs at his house, I think his kid's downstairs, I'm not sure.
No, I'm at the office, I'm on the second floor.
Oh.
Alright, I'm back.
You could be at home though, no?
I could be, yeah, but today I'm leaving I'm going on a fishing trip for a week, so I had to come in today.
So later I'll have to steal some of your Facebook fishing trip pictures. These guys.
I'm going with your buddy.
This guy, they had me scuba diving about a year and a half ago. It was great. Down in Florida, it's beautiful. If you ever go, you gotta look these guys up. They're nothing but fun. All right, back to the
Right, so here we are, the CRM. Now we have two things. First off, we have our website, which is Florida's Best Realty. This is what you see, the public, okay? So, in general, you want to go buy a home or rent a home in South Florida, you can go on Google, we pop up, you can search anywhere in Florida, right? Here's a nice letter from us saying how great we are and how we want to take care of you. We really personalize our business towards the client. So this is what most companies have, and there is no back end to their website. It's simply this, and leads come in, they go on a piece of paper, and they get distributed. With us, we have what's called FBR Team. FBR Team is a database. What it does is it stores, as you'll see here, every transaction, and it does a whole lot more. So we built this. It's been a work in progress over the past 12 years. Jeff, it looks a whole lot different than the last time you saw it, probably.
Yeah, it does.
We just added a whole bunch of JavaScripting, really neat stuff to it. So I'll show you. I'll show you the most essentials. I'm going to show you how this client relationship management software benefits not only us, and not only people that buy and sell with us, but every single party that is involved in a transaction, including other agents. And it's actually become a way of us attracting other agents because they see, wow, look at this technology these guys use. I want access to this. So the first thing, what you can see here is a blog. Push this, that smartphone looks like me. Little bald guy.
Nice.
It's an internal blog. And what it is only for the agents that work here in our office. They have access to it. And we can post anything from, good morning, it's my birthday, happy birthday, to special, we want to joke around. When it's an internal, and you use the word intranet, this is a true intranet that we communicate only with each other. Here, little notes, like when you come into our office, here's a new lockbox code. Somebody needed some advice, they posted a question. So in essence, it's sort of like a Facebook status or a Twitter tweet, but it's only within our office. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. So the next part of the CRM, we have two types of leads. There's people that buy homes, and there's people that rent homes. If somebody were to call and say they want to rent a home, we would click on rental leads, and you see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. They would click on view my rental leads, and I'm logged in right now as an agent, so what you're seeing is what all my agents see. I have no special permissions for my own account. And then I can see all of my personal leads, and I can rate them. If they're good, they're green. If they're okay, they're yellow. If they're bad, they're red. The nice thing about the rating system is the client never sees it. It's only internal. What I'm able to do now is not only input a client's information, such as here's the name, their email, their phone number, what they're looking for, the home they rented, this guy went forward, how much our commission is, and then how much we're due every year when they renew. So you see, every time they sign a new lease, we get paid $9.75. If he stays for 10 years, we just made ourselves an annuity for $10,000. We also have the ability to track where we've taken people. So let's say we take a guy to 5 different homes. It's very difficult to remember where you take a client, especially when you're in this business full time and you're taking hundreds of people out. You want to remember where you took them. Well, now we have a way of tracking. So we can drop down every address in this area, and if we've taken them there. The reason for this is, let's say they go back and they purchase or rent a home without us that we took them to. We're protected by law by what's called procurement. That if we can prove we've taken them somewhere, we're entitled to a commission. So that's why we created this. This is new, Jeff. We just implemented.
That's really cool. Where did you get this database of all of the ads? Is that a publicly available database?
Yeah, it feeds off of the MLS, yeah.
So MLS, you guys might know, multiple listing services. It's a database in the United States that I believe you have to be a member, right, to get access to the database?
Yeah, you have to pay. It's about $1,000 a year per person.
Nothing compared to the value of the access to the database.
No, it's cheap. It's $60 to $90 a month, depending on which membership you take, and it's the best $1,000 a year you could. It's basically the analogy I make to agents. It's like having a driver's license. Without it, you shouldn't drive a car. Well, the same thing. You shouldn't be in this business without it.
Yeah.
It's a license to make money in this business. Now, the next thing is this. We just added this, Jeff, and you haven't seen it. We were running into an issue where we were very disorganized with clients' files. We'd have a guy buy a house, and he would call us a year or 2 or 3 later and say, you know what? I can't find my purchase contract, or I can't find my rental contract. Can you please give it to me? And I have to go and sort through hundreds of boxes of stored files, pull it up, scan it, fax it, email it. Now, we've embedded every single client file since the beginning of our company onto our CRM. I'm going to show you. So I went to this guy, Michael Brady. We're able to upload, email, and export directly from our database now.
Wow.
So
I'm sorry, you went back in the entire history and you scanned everything?
There's a little scanner called NEAT, N-E-A-T. You've probably seen it on TV.
Yeah, right?
I paid a girl to sit here 5 days a week, and all she did was scan paperwork and upload it to the client's name, and then as she completed it, she stamped it complete, and move on to the next one.
How long did that take?
It wasn't too bad. This NEAT scanner scans 60 pages per minute. And the average client was only about 20 pages, so we were doing, 80, 90 clients a day. Probably took a few months.
That's actually very fast. By the way, this speaks to, anytime you do a new system, this is more information systems development than e-commerce, but you always have to look at the cost benefit of getting all the history into your system. Sometimes it's just simply not cost effective to do it. But if you can do your entire history of clients in 3 months, that certainly adds a lot of value, especially considering what the other thing you said about the liability of commission. Not just simply the opportunity of going and getting a new customer, but if you can prove that you had a relationship with somebody historically, and then you can go and collect. I explained to them that typically the buyer and the selling agent agent firms split 6%, 5 to 6%. So, and then between the agent and the firm they work for, it's a 50-50 split or a negotiated special deal. But so you're talking about between 1.5% and 3% just for half of the deal. That's the selling price of a house. So if you're talking about $1 million house, that's a pretty big chunk of money that you're haggling over. And anytime you can protect your investment, then that's the value of what you just protected.
Yep, and that's for us. If this system gets us one more renewal commission a year, or saves us one buyer that goes behind our back and screws up, if it just catches one of them, it pays for the entire development for the year.
What's that, ROI, right? Return on investment, pretty good deal.
Yeah, and believe me, we're not out there to actually dug deeper. We probably find we've been burnt hundreds of times, but it's a numbers game. It's if we have 2,000 clients a year and 2 or 3 burn us, we just suck it up and move on. But this helps catch at least. There's going to be 100 clients a year that try to burn, so we catch 98 of them. So, alright, here's the files. I'm not going to open them and show you, but we can pull up anyone's lease. You can see everything sorted by chronological order, as you see here. Original offer is marked on 4/19. You can see the lease was prepared on 4/20 at 8:44 a.m. And then again, the lease was signed on 4/20 at 2:12 p.m. And we even mark it to the second. So if somebody tells me, oh, well, I didn't get the lease back in time, we can see for the second when they receive their lease.
So let me point this out as well for you guys. We're not doing this on your project, but so Marshall and his guys, it's really, I think it's you and your developer, right? Pretty much are the lead dogs on this.
Yes.
So he, as a business owner, Marshall drives everything in this system. He doesn't. I'm speaking for you a little bit. I'm assuming that this is the case. You don't just say, "Oh, go create me a CRM system." He says, "No. There's Marshall." He says, "This is exactly what I need it to be." So when I'm harassing you guys in the process design and input, process, output, he knows exactly, Marshall that is, knows exactly that this date is a critical field. This document ID is a critical field. The client ID is a critical field. Every one of these elements are critical fields. And it can't be everything, because of course it wouldn't fit on the page. So he has to decide, what we call this content management. What are the attributes about this content that are most important that have to be designed into the system? That's his decision, not the developer's decision. And I've seen plenty of monkey organizations just go to their IT staff and say, "Oh, you know what's important." No, they don't know what's important.
Now, let me tell you something. IT guys, they don't understand. They know how to program, and they're very, they're regimented. All they know is programming. All I know is real estate. But I sit there with my programmer weekly, and we have a meeting. I say, "Marcio, here's what I have. I have this file, and I need to be organized, and I need to do this, this, and this." And I literally draw it up on a piece of paper and physically show him. And then he somehow builds it. So it's a good symbiosis that we form. But I gotta say this, having a programmer that has some idea of our industry also helps, and he does have a relative idea. You hear me?
Great, we can hear you, yes.
Okay. Originally, we tried a group in India to build this CRM, and we ended up losing a lot of money. They didn't understand the particulars of our industry. So we found it's a lot more cost effective going this way.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, this guy was just a subcontracted guy at the beginning, doing your web development and then creating a few features, and then you hired him full time. Is that right?
Correct.
So you often see this. In fact, I'm glad you brought up the India thing. This whole idea, and I peddle it a lot too, outsourcing, you just rent stuff. It's true for very well-defined things, or things that are commoditized. But things that are strategic, like this and this business process, it's not for high-level outsourcing. Now, his guy could outsource some of the elements if it was so large that he could say, "Okay, some guy in India, write these 3 lines of code." Because I'm telling you exactly what to do, and there's no confusion or lost in translation. But it can't be at the higher level that you're sitting down and you're debating, what are the critical fields and how will the thing look at the end of the day.
Yep. Now I can say, in the long run, it was a whole lot cheaper to hire local staff and have somebody that I could sit here physically with. Because what we found with outsourcing was they made a mistake and it would take them a month to fix it. Whereas this guy, I called him up just an hour ago. I said, "Hey, you made a mistake. Can you fix this?" He picks up his cell phone. He speaks English. He understands, and he fixed it in 5 minutes. So
You just dissed about a half dozen Frenchies, but no kidding.
yeah, well, in your country, you want to speak with somebody that speaks your language. It's the same thing. It's a lot easier to deal with people that really understand the language we're speaking, and not just the language we're programming in.
That's exactly right.
All right, so that's for rental leads. I mean, you guys see that we can store files, we can track the lead, we can see when they called us, we can see everything about these people. We try to screen our clients before they become leads. We ask them for their information. All of that is on that rental form that we had pulled up. Same thing goes for sales, and I'll just briefly open up the sales lead for you. But same thing, same concept applies. I want to pull up my sales lead, right? And I have a guy who's closing tomorrow. Here we are, Michael Reigns, right? And I want to see everything on Michael. I would just click the view button, and I can see here's his client ID, which is a unique tracking ID for any client. So If he ever says, hey Marshall, I need a file exported to me, can you email it? It's just like a social security number. I say, what's your client ID? He gives me that. If he doesn't know it, I can pull it up by phone number, I can pull it up by first and last name, or by email. I can see everything on it. With him, I didn't put any information in because I knew him. He's been a client for years. So I took his basic stuff and I put it in. But here's all of his files, as you guys see. He's buying a house. We have everything from day one, where that's his offer. There's his addendum. Here's his inspection report, his insurance mitigation, his approval, and then tomorrow we're going to upload the final closing document. The nice thing about this, and this is what I want to get into, is this is great for me as an agent, but we came up with a better idea. Rather than having clients call us and ask for access to their documents, the email, the scan, or to fax it to them, we created something even better. Check this out. We have a client login. Just like with your car insurance or other insurance accounts you may have, we gave our clients the ability to log into their own account and see their own documents at any time. So
you as a client, you actually don't want to talk to Marshall. You only want to talk to Marshall when you want to go fishing. But you want to talk to Marshall to go get a piece of paper because you want that paper now. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. You can just log on and get whatever you need. There's something else about people with real estate who have not just you typically one house, but maybe 2 houses or 3 houses, is they're collecting assets. They want the security of knowing they can just go and see their stuff. There's something about it. I don't know if you guys ever buy and sell stocks. If you want access to your stock portfolio online, just to push the button and see what you got. There's something about it that this creates a lot of added value to the clients that would potentially make them want to come work with Marshall. This is one of many things. But as opposed to working with somebody who's old school that you got to call up. And they say, and some of the old school people actually say this, no, I want a personal relationship with my customers. I mean, of course you do, dumbass. But what do you base the relationship on? Hanging out with them or making copies for them? So and this gets that added value, what provides value to the client, and what is just kind of a waste of time, low value activity.
Can you actually download documents? Because it's
yeah. So now, what I did, I went to fbrteam.com/client. Okay, I logged in as if I just rented or bought a house with my company. So now this guy, he rented a house. He can log in, he can see his rental documents, like we just went to, and he can see every rental document since the beginning of time that he's had with us. Here it is, here's a lease.
And you can download the PDF, right?
What's that?
You can download the PDF.
Oh yeah, all you would have to do is right here. Click here, downloading, check this out. There's his lease. See that? So he doesn't have to call me and ask for a copy. Now how does he even know this exists? I'll tell you how he knows it exists, because he became a client of our company. He got an automatic email saying, welcome to Florida's Best Realty. We've created a client login where you can view your documents at any time. So we have all this programmed. You know, we were one step ahead and we built this. We have the same thing from landlords. fbrteam.com/landlord, and landlords can track all of their properties they have with us.
So these are property management firms that want to work with Marshall to coordinate their properties.
So I'm not going to log into that. It's the same concept, same exact everything. Now I mentioned that it also runs our financials. So let's say I wanted to create an invoice. We have 3 types of invoices. We have rental, we have privately owned rentals, and then we have sales. Real easy. The agent wants to create a sales invoice. All they're going to do is create sales invoice. And our database is so advanced that it's pretty much anybody can figure out how to use this. They can go, I'm not logged in promptly. I log in as an admin now. They log in as an agent.
So while he's logging in, so this is your next activity after I look at your 5.0, you're going to do the 6.0 user interface. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but he's going after a database that has all of the data, and then there are access settings that will say, you're the manager of the firm, you get access to everything. You're sales agent 123, you will only get access to your client stuff. You're the customer of sales agent 123, you only get access to your stuff via the customer portal. But he's made every one of these portals look intuitively as that person in that role, whoever that key user was, it looks like this is how it looks when they would do their job. Because Marshall doesn't want to have to retrain everybody to do whatever they're doing. All he's doing is he's taking all this data, putting it in a database, and then, oh, you're an agent? This is what you're used to looking at, and here's all the data. And you're a customer? This is what you're used to looking at. I'm the manager of the agents? This is what I need to be looking at. And that's what he's managing here. It all looks, it's kind of interesting. You look at it, it doesn't necessarily have a continuous look and feel all the way through the application. This is something that I have noticed, Marshall. But what it does look like is it looks like however that key user would expect it to look like. And these usability, the UI guys, they're really good at this. They know exactly what that user needs something to look like so they can go become productive at whatever it is that they're doing.
And we also realized we had a previous database we built over the past 10, 12 years. So what we wanted to do was not have a drastic change for our agents. We wanted them to be familiar with the same layout, same concept as before. I gotta tell you, the training that it took when we upgraded to this only took me about an hour to train every single person in the office. 1 hour in one class. That's how simple this is. That's how self-explanatory the database is.
That's great. So I know you were short on time, so I don't want to drag you on. Are there kind of some other key highlights of the app that you want to show us before you go away?
I mean, there's the invoicing, which, I just showed you. You click, add new invoice. Let's say you want to invoice for someone that you just sold a house to. It knows all their information. So let's say it's Michael Rain. I drop down to Michael Rain's name. Look at that. It automatically populates. And then we track everybody involved in the transaction. Reason being, let's say I were to die tomorrow, and my client needs to access all their files 10, 15 years from now. They can see who the title company was, who the other party, the buyer or the seller was. They get to see, well, they don't see this part, the commission generated. That's only for the agent's view. They get a copy of the invoice, their contract, their HUD, which is their closing statement, and the actual listing when it was listed for sale. And then we can even put additional comments like, "Hi Jeff, it was great selling you a $10 billion house." Okay? We can put that all on their file, and that way they see all this information today, tomorrow, and 20 years from now. We started charging our clients for this, and they're happy to pay it. We charge them $295 when they buy a house, and if they rent, it's a $50 fee, and they get access for life. So any upgrades that we provide, they're included. And they pay it one time per transaction.
Is that an optional charge for them?
No, it's not. We've had very few people complain about it. Most brokerages charge what's called a technology fee. We roll this into what was called our professional fee. So in essence, it just helps us justify our professional fee.
I see.
We were charging, $200 anyway, so now it's $295, but they get this. Let me tell you, people pay for Carbonite, right, for backups. They pay $120 a year to back up their files. When you buy a house, that's the one thing you really need to back up is all your files for that.
Right.
So we went through the financials. I can see at any time, let's say I'm an agent and I want to see what I have made for the year. I can see how much I made for the week, for the month. I can actually sort by the time frame, by the agent. I can see how much I'm owed. So let's say I want to go. I want to see how much I'm due. I can see here, this is how much money I'm owed. So in essence, it's their pocketbook. And they can even sort by time frame. So if they want to sort by between a certain date, they can do that. Let's say they want to see how much they made in the month of May last year versus the month of May this year. They just go here and click the months, and they can sort that way. We track lease expiration dates, meaning people rent houses from us, and at some point their lease ends, right? We can see when a lease ends between 0 and 30 days, 30 and 60, and 60 and 90. The reason for this, we want to contact them and say, hey, do you want to find a new house, or do you want to buy something? So this is very important. The client portal, this allows us to create manually what we just went through, the client login. They're able, let's say an agent is working with someone, but they haven't closed the deal yet, we can manually go in and create an account for them. Got it?
Yep, got it.
Then, this is interesting. I'll show you one really neat feature here. Just recently, the government here changed the rules on what we can advertise and not advertise in regards to real estate. And what changed was you can't just advertise somebody else's property without written signed permission. So what did we do? We formed a new portion on our database called OK to Advertise. And we listed all the brokers locally that said, okay, you can advertise my property. And then we got the state-approved formal letter stating that it's okay for us to advertise their property. Therefore, if we get audited, here it is, a signed approval allowing us to advertise their homes. So this was something that we really had to innovate overnight.
Right.
We have a standard document manager, just like any other CRM has, where every document you can imagine from the beginning of this business has been uploaded, and anytime we get a new document from a new company or a new housing development, we put it on here, and then we can search and store it. So let's say Jeff finds a condo and he needs what's called condo docs, right? I go there and I can see, here we are for Vistazo. There's their condo documents. Vistazo charges it. They charge $100. Whitehall charges $200. We have all this information that we paid for once, and now we give it to you for free and save people tens of thousands of dollars a year by having it live on our database.
You know, one thing I wrote on the wall here is, so it looks like that he's got a lot of stuff. And he does have a lot of stuff. But so you said 12 years of development?
Yeah, I mean, we started this from day one. It was, it was an Excel spreadsheet, and it grew from there.
But this is the point that you should all know. If you're going into a business, or you have a business idea, you got to start from somewhere. Don't start with everything. Start with the most important thing. Either you're going to solve a particular problem, or you want to capture a particular opportunity. But be very focused and narrow. Be kind of visionary in your imagination of what it could be, but don't be lost in the blah, blah bullshit, you'll never get around to it stuff. Zoom in on a thing and then build on that. And if you're thoughtful like Marshall has been, then whatever your idea is that you're developing, it will scale to some level. But then at some point, you'll throw that away and you'll start again. But at least you're building off of what you started conceptually, but then you might move to a different platform. How many times over 12 years did you, in essence, kind of start from scratch on a new platform? Probably 2 or 3 times, I would guess?
Around 3 right now, yeah.
You're on 3?
I can tell you, round 1, we completely killed it and went to India, where that was round 2. Round 2 was a disaster. We lost money. We lost a lot of money. When we outsourced to India, they built on what's called Sugar CRM, which is a open source, open format, kind of anyone can use the programming language. It's not free, but it's very inexpensive. But it was generic, meaning you logged in and it was not proprietary. It said you're now logged in through Sugar CRM. Meaning if Sugar went out of business, we were all on, we're in big trouble. With this, we own the code, we own the database, we own the server, we own everything. Right. So this is round 3. And round 3, I think, is the one that's going to last. The third one's the charm. And there's just too much data to take this down. This would take years to redo.
And what platform did you develop this on?
I don't know. He built it on SQL, and then he's been integrating all different. I don't really know the technology side. Like I said, I understand how to work it. I don't know how he built it.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where the systems are running that this runs on?
Yeah, we rent a cloud server from GoDaddy.
GoDaddy, yeah.
Yeah, which is cheap. It was the cheapest way to get a dedicated cloud server.
Do you know if you pay for redundancy, where GoDaddy runs your system in one location and they at the same time run it in another location in case the primary location has a problem?
I have no clue. No, but I've never, knock on wood, never had issues.
But you can do all these things. And his technician probably knows I'm sure he knows the answer to the question. What is the design specifications that GoDaddy gave him to ensure that the site never goes down? I would assume from your statement that it's never gone down.
Yeah, not that I've seen. I've seen the emails go down, never the database. So, if it does, it's intermittent for 15 seconds. You know, it's not even noticeable. By the time it goes down, you notice it's down. You log off, you log back in, and you're back online.
Excellent, excellent.
Uh,
Any last things you want to point out to us?
Just like cool features, you know, I'm walking through, I worked the last feature. We just added this week, where now you can check your email directly from our database. So let's say I'm on vacation in Prague, and I need to check my email, and I don't know how. All I do is click on the webmail button. I'm going to log in, and look at this. I have access to my email directly from the CRM, rather than having to turn on my iPhone and pay $1 a minute, or whatever the typical way of checking your email is. When logging into a server, you don't have to do that anymore. Now it's right here. Simple events calendar. This is for internal office events. You know, we're having a Christmas party, a holiday party, whatever it may be. We want everyone in the office to know, but nobody else. We have our own internal calendar. And then this was really neat. I invented this. I really thought it was necessary. We used to have Rolodexes on every desk and pieces of paper printed out with everyone's extension. Now we got rid of that. We went with our own, what I call, you know, it's a modern technology. It's a Rolodex. It's a database here. Every agent, their email, their cell phone number, and their office extension. So let's say somebody called and said, hey, can you put me in touch with James? And I don't know James's phone number. All I do is go on here, look here, and see his extension 120. Now I know forward to the extension 120, whereas I used to have to go and scroll through Rolodex in order to find his info.
Now, let me ask you, related, do you guys use a voice over IP phone system?
Yes.
So I don't know if it's integrated, but you could, with just a little bit of coding, connect that button. So you literally would just click that button, and boom, you dial his voice over IP phone that's sitting right on his desk. Or sitting at his home office.
I keep getting emails from Ring Central saying the same thing. There's not enough hours in a day.
Right. This is about prioritization. So what are the most important things to do, and that one isn't there. But getting up the database was a big deal.
And the CRM kind of goes in the same order. You talk about prioritization. Well, if you notice, there's a consistent, streamlined process to our database where it goes from our leads to our invoicing, financials. Then as we get towards the bottom, it's stuff that's less used. All of these fields here, these are kind of discretionary, and honestly, not many people use them. But if they do, they're great features. Like the last one I just clicked on, this will be my final closing portion, is the how-to guide. We get a lot of new agents who don't know how to do anything. So now we started doing how-to guides, and I mean, even simple stuff, like how to put a lead in. Alright? I'm going to open up a PowerPoint that we made. It's how-to for dummies, literally. See here? It shows them how to input, how to log in.
This is great.
Yeah.
So we call this, in your reading, a knowledge management system, right? You want to take the knowledge that the people in your organization collect over time and institutionalize it. So you don't have to worry about whether Marshall gets hit by a truck or eaten by a shark, whatever the case may be.
Eaten by a shark.
Eaten by a shark. Really, if you ever go to Florida, you got to look these guys up. They are a ton of fun, and there really are sharks out there. It's a little scary.
Oh, yeah. We actually had one yesterday, right on the beach. 13-foot hammerhead.
Wow. Well, this is great, Marshall. We want to let you go though, because we totally appreciate your time, and I know you're pushed for time. But thanks for hanging out longer than you planned.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Do you guys have any parting questions? Well, we would give you gifts, but maybe we'll put them in the mail tomorrow. But thank you very much for spending the time with us. Really appreciate it.
Do it again soon.
All right. Good luck with the fish. Tell Eddie I said hi.
All right, I will.
Okay. Bye-bye. He rocks and rolls. He makes big money. Millions. It's unbelievable. And he's like me and you. I mean, he's not an Einstein. He's just a really hard worker, and he knows his business, and it's one thing after the next. He just knocks it out of the park. No, he doesn't knock it out of the park. He gets first base, and eventually people are just running around the bases, and he's just got his little bucket here collecting money at the end. He does get a beautiful boat, beautiful wife, cute little kid. They go out fishing. They go scuba diving every weekend. It's a great friggin' life. But and he works hard. He works hard and he plays hard. But if you really, I swear, if you're in Florida, you got to go hang out with these guys. I did see a shark one time. I didn't know it was like not an attack shark, and I got it eaten alive. But it's Florida. Have you ever been to Florida, anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful area. All right. Well, I hope you found this couple hours of use worth your time. I know it's late at night, so I'll let you go. But thanks for coming, and good luck on your projects.
Thank you.